Okay, we're back for like week 4 of this discussion and what I've been doing with these videos. I'm trying to get like an upload every week. This is obviously going up more than 7 days later, but I'm covering the weeks of basketball that I've watched. All right, guys. So, really quickly, I just want to tell you the league is absolutely still screwed because of how dominant the OKC Thunder are. But I really don't feel like I have to talk about the dominance of the OKC Thunder. I feel like everyone knows what the Thunder is at this point, who they are, and whatnot. Let's talk about some surprises and some people that I've not given as much credit as I probably should have. The Phoenix Suns. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. The Phoenix Suns, dog. You guys have flown under the radar for way too long. This is. I'm not gonna say no dumbass shit like I think this team is a contending team. I'm not gonna say anything as ridiculous as that because that's just not true. Currently, where they are in the standings is very impressive to me. I'm not gonna lie, because if you told me a roster that didn't, mind you, Jalen Green, one game. I've seen one game from him. It is Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, and I'm serious when I say this. Unless you like really watch these games and watch the Phoenix Suns, you'd have no idea who the fuck is on this roster. Grayson Allen is still there. Yes, he's still there. Mark Williams they picked up. He's there. But like this team is really just a bunch of guys. It's a bunch of guys. And the only other team that I can think of that's just a bunch of guys in the NBA right now is the Brooklyn Nets. And the Nets, I don't know if you know this, but the Nets are a terrible basketball team for the exact same reasons that I thought the Suns would be a terrible basketball team. But for some reason, the Suns are not a terrible basketball team. They're a team that has more. They're in double-digit wins right now. They have more wins than losses, and I just didn't expect that. I thought this team was going to win 20-something games this year. They're already half of the way there. If they don't win more, and I've looked at their schedule. Their schedule has not been fucking cupcake easy. They just keep finding ways to win. Now has their schedule been the hardest? No, I'm not gonna lie to even tell you that. But yeah, I just wanted to shout out the Suns while they're still keeping their head above water. They're trotting water very well right now. I just wanted to say that. All right, we're gonna talk about everybody else now. Portland is still a very 500 team. They started off the season very hot. They got some very impressive wins, but like, yeah, they're regressing to the mean right about now. So if you were wondering how that storyline was going to pan out, there you go. I told you how it panned out. It's about 50-50. The Wizards remain one of the worst teams in basketball. I know there's been some other content creators that have talked about him. DMV legend, basketball legend. Swishout has already talked about how the Wizards have been one of the worst basketball teams, period, and how frankly it's probably going to get a lot worse. Now I am DMV biased. He's also DMV biased, probably against the Wizards because of how bad they've been universally and generationally. But I honestly think, given, and here's my proof that I'm DMV biased. I honestly think, given the fact that what they have on the roster right now, they can be a decent team in a couple of years. I think they'll be occupying that Atlanta role. I don't think they'll be god awful forever. They're not one of those teams that doesn't have their draft picks. They're not one of those teams that is got a generational prospect but can never stay healthy. They're just one of those teams that doesn't have anything yet. They've got a couple of nice pieces that I'm liking. I like Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr is taking a major leap. They've got vets on the team that will teach this team to be better in the future. Like they're not just stuck with a whole bunch of losers. They got Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton is a guy who's won a championship. He knows what it's like to work from the fucking G League up. That's a great veteran guy to have on your fucking team. That being said, the Wizards aren't gonna win shit. The Wizards might not win 20 games this year. The Wizards are gonna occupy with the same role that I thought the Phoenix Suns would occupy, but the Bulls started off very hot, but they regressed to the mean. Honestly, didn't expect much of them. Philly finds new ways to be injured because Paul George. First of all, Paul George came back in his first game against the Milwaukee Bucks, and he showed the fuck out. Considering what the expectations were for him, I thought he was going to be awful when he finally did come back. He wasn't terrible. He is showing that he could be like the third best guy on a team that matters. I won't say a championship winning team or a championship contending team because it's the Sixers, and contending with the Sixers means that the team has to be healthy, which they're the Sixers, so that's not going to happen. The Cleveland Cavaliers, despite being as injured as they've been, busted up as ever. Jared Allen missing games. Donovan Mitchell missing a couple of games already. Darius Garland obviously missing games. Max Strus hasn't suited up for this team yet. Jalen Tyson has missed some games. They remain to be one of the better teams out the East. Now I really thought they would be struggling right about now, trying to keep their heads over water, being around 500. They're not that bad. They're not. They're fine. They're fine so far. Detroit remains still the top team in the East. They are still on a long ass win streak, 12 wins in a row. Cade is back again. The sky is the moon for them. The fucking sky is the limit for this team. I love this team so much. I am very big on their defense. If you've wanted a team that reminds you of early 2000s basketball, reminds you of fucking 90s basketball, you want a very physical team that's not afraid to foul and shit, this is the team. But if you wanted to watch a generational defense that is, just isn't reminding you of that era, I mean, obviously the nerve right there, just saying. God, the league is so screwed. Remember how we were like, oh, there aren't going to be any dynasties in this generation. There aren't. There isn't going to be any in this era. And then Sam Presti fucked it up for us. He just ruined it. He ruined it. He just had to ruin it, man. The Knicks have been a very interesting team, and I'm only saying the Knicks because I'm seeing them right now. They've been a very mediocre team. They've been beaten quite a few times by some teams that they shouldn't have been beaten by. Mike Brown's offense is interesting. I don't really want to say that it's good for this team because I think having Brunson take less of a load is going to be better for his health. But I also think that trying to figure out this offense with him and Cat has been difficult, to say the least, for them. Which is why Tiz worked so well, because he was getting as much as he could out of these guys defensively. There's a lot of defensive pieces. If Mike Brown can make these defensive pieces into good offensive pieces, and honestly, I think if the Knicks could be a good transition team in their, I don't even want to say their front court, just from their wings, if they can do that, then they probably can be a good enough offensive team to make you think. But they're not. They're just not like this generational defense. They're not, bro. And if they were like that, a generational defense, they could do that. Indiana. I knew Indiana was going to be in a down year. I knew they weren't going to be able to contend. I knew they weren't going to make the playoffs. I knew that all of that shit. I did not know that the Indiana Pacers, who were one game away from winning the finals, missing Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner, would be this bad. They are generationally bad right now. But somebody gave them their pick back. Somebody gave them their pick back for no reason. No reason at all. And no offense, and I'm a Maryland guy, so when I say this, I want you to take this with a grain of salt. No offense to Derek Queen whatsoever. I never watched the guy at college. I loved that he's from this area, right? And that he went to Maryland. That's nice. I love that for him. But there's no way in hell trading for that guy on draft night and sending your pick to Atlanta was a good idea. It wasn't a good idea on draft night. It wasn't. Because if you wanted to maximize this roster with Zion Williamson, which you clearly fucking don't. I just don't. You don't. The coach's decision tells me you don't. I don't know what the fucking plan is. I think you're just gonna void his contract. That's what you're hoping for. You're hoping for an ability to void his contract. And I remember having these exact same discussions last year around Thanksgiving time. And we were looking at the Zion contract and we're like, oh, it's bad. But it's not that bad for New Orleans. It's bad for Zion. Right? Because they could just let the guy go. This was before they traded Brandon Ingram. And by the way, thanks to this fucking dumbass organization, the fucking Raptors are relevant now. Who the hell thought the Raptors were going to be relevant? Reminder, they traded for Brandon Ingram, and he just did not suit up for Toronto. We never saw this nigga play for Toronto realistically until this year. And now they're like, what, the second best team in the conference based on record? What the fuck? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I expected the Pistons to take this leap. I knew the Pistons were going to be this good coming into this year. I knew that. Especially with the Cavaliers lagging. Especially with New York trying to figure out their shit with the coaching and shit. Especially with Orlando probably not going to be this great shooting team all of a sudden. And if their defense starts the season off a little bit slow, which it has, they've been a very fucking mid to mediocre, bad at times even. And they just suck in the clutch because they don't have any fucking shot making. And they're not going to blow you out either. This team has surprised me. I didn't think that the Raptors would be the team to be the second best team in the conference. I didn't see it. I didn't foresee it. There was no outcome that could have made me prepared for that. I just didn't see it. All right. Realistically, I didn't see that. It wasn't a possibility for me. It wasn't even something that occurred in my mind. What makes this Raptors team so good, to be honest, is everything that makes Orlando so ass. They have actual shot making on the team. Now, is the shot making RJ Barrett and Quickley and Brandon Ingram? Yeah, that is the only shot making on this team. Is Scottie Barnes one of the best playmakers on this team? Is that good? No, that's not great. It's good enough. Obviously, Scottie Barnes is taking a massive fucking lead. Again, please watch before you shit on Scottie. Please watch him play, and you'll notice how impactful he is. I think he's like on some like Swiss Army knife Draymond Green type shit. Now, I don't think his defense is as crazy as fucking prime Draymond Green, but we're not talking about prime Draymond Green. I'm just talking about Draymond Green right now, how important and valuable he is to the Warriors. Speaking of the fucking Warriors, because like, God. You've had Jimmy, and I know, look, I know you haven't been 100% healthy the entire year. Look, I'll give it to you. Why are you 500 though? Like, just straight up 500. Like, bang, smack that 500 the last time I saw you. You were 9-9. What the fuck is going on with that? Why are you sitting outside of the play-in? What's up with that? I'm gonna grill the fucking Wolves really quickly, but that's because they started off the season without better. I have no idea what the fuck is going on with Anthony Edwards. Now, I'm not gonna go to the certain extremes that certain people in this house have said about Anthony Edwards, but my God, brother, you just have not looked like you. And I know it's that hamstring injury, and you're playing through it. Brother, if you're not 100% ready to go, please let this team's guards, the other guards on the team, develop so you'll have somebody to rely on come postseason. I know it's important to get some chemistry and minutes with those guys too, but trust me, that nigga's not going to have the ball in his hands nearly as much as you. That shit do not matter, dog. It don't. We did need some guard play from you. And also, y'all are missing Jaden McDaniels. Y'all are feeling that. But, like, y'all should not be in a fucking deadlock with the Phoenix Suns, bro. I don't believe that. Y'all should not have game-winning shots shot on you by them because you shouldn't be in close games with them. It just doesn't make sense. Shout out. Let's talk about the fucking. Let's talk about the Nuggets. Dear God. Okay, so, Nuggets. Jesus Christ, man. Jokic just every year, right? I've seen you beat up on some pretty bad teams, but that's what you're supposed to do. I can't be mad at the schedule of you. I've seen you lose to Portland, which that shit looked like a fluke. It's looking like a fluke more often. Y'all have been on a very hot streak since Halloween, and you have not looked back. This team fits together so well. It's just everything we said about this team, except Cam Johnson's shooting, because that still has yet to make an appearance, is what we said about this team. I don't really know how else to take it. And by the way, when Jamal, and I know Jamal went back to the hairstyle he normally wears, but Jamal came with the twist outs, like he had the twist, like he just got a fresh new twist. And Aaron Gordon got his fucking loctician in the gym with him, or whatever, grinding to fix some fucking nappy ass locks that he had, bro. And I'm saying that as a nigga with freestyles, bro. But yeah, them shits, that shit's fucking awful. If I was editing this shit, you would see like a picture of that shit like right now, bro. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not feeling it. Yeah. He got in the gym with that. Bro, Aaron Gordon has taken strides, brother. Oh my God. I still think he's now niggas are gonna tell you that Jamal Murray is the second best player on the team. You're a fucking lie. You're a fucking liar. You're a liar. honestly, and this is not crazy to say. Just take this with a grain of salt though. Jamal Murray is the Klay Thompson of this team, and Aaron Gordon is the Draymond Green of this team. One of these guys is the number two by the media, and one of them is the number 2 by niggas who actually know what the fuck they're talking about. All right? Bro, I've been seeing so much Draymond disrespect. I get it, he's not likable. You don't have to like the guy, but like, dog, I don't. And I know the Dennis Rodman comparisons are apt, right? But brother, he is so much more of the Scottie Pippen of that team than he is the Dennis Rodman, bro. Please use your brains. Please use your brains, bro. Please, bro. Please, bro. He's y'all are putting Draymond Green in these debates and conversations that he doesn't belong in. And I mean like too fucking low, not too high, not too much. Y'all are wilding with that shit. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. Please stop putting Draymond in these conversations that he clears, bro. He shouldn't be there. It's disrespectful to the other people there, bro. It is, bro. It is. Yeah, that's enough of talking about that. Let's see. Let's talk about something. I don't need to tell you how Sacramento has been awful. That's just more of the same old, same old. I don't need to tell you about how Domantas Sabonis' injury has made it even worse for this team. I don't need to tell you about how the Clippers finally got Kawhi Leonard back last night, and they still got their ass belted by the Cavaliers, who are also injured. I don't need to tell you about any of that stuff. I don't need to tell you about how James Harden has had to put on his fucking cape and average 2019, 2018 type numbers from this motherfucker. Turning back the clock to his fucking Houston years, his last Houston years, for this team to be relevant. I don't need to tell you about that. Because we already know about this, right? This is why OKC is in the position that they're in right now and why they're going to have more picks that are generationally high. It gets to a point, right? Like, oh my God. Bro, this league is so cooked. Oh, we're so cooked, bro. Oh. Utah has been a lot more surprising and a lot better than anyone could have ever counted for. They only have 5 wins, though. Is it worth talking about? I'll let you decide. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'll let you decide if it's worth talking about. It's not. The Hornets have been the Hornets. Nothing to say about that. The Mavericks have been the Mavericks. They're the Clippers. They're in the exact same situation the fucking Clippers are in. Actually, it might be worse. It actually might be worse because at least, and I know you're going to tell yourself, why are you saying Harden is better than Kawhi Leonard at this point? He is. He just fucking is, right? At this point, I don't know what to tell you anymore. If Kawhi's not going to play fucking basketball, I don't give a shit how good he is and when he's on the court. Harden is going to be better than him because he plays fucking basketball. That's... If we're evaluating basketball players on how much they play basketball, Kawhi Leonard's not in this conversation. He's just not. So there's that. That's something new. Not that I didn't think it before, but discovering it and seeing it in video is kind of... Yeah. Josh Giddey has been still really good since getting his ankle snapped by... Sorry, his ankle broken by DeAndre Hunter. One of the only healthy Cavalier players that's played. Like, I think he might be the only one that's played all the games so far. Unless I'm mistaken. Except that one Miami game. Probably that second Miami game. Didn't play that one, I don't think. But yeah. It's just a shame that Siakam is playing so well and this team is so bad and Nembhard is playing really well. And I like what they do. And I like the pieces on this Pacers team. That's why I'm so scared, because they're going to get a high draft pick this year from their own pick. And they're probably going to draft like a good center or whatever. And hell, this draft class is deep. So if they get something out of this, they could be scary. Atlanta continues to roll without Trae Young, and it's making me think some things about Trae Young and how it's kind of nasty, but it's kind of true, to be honest. I don't think Trae Young is an all-star. I'm not saying Trae Young doesn't have all-star production. I'm not saying that Trae Young doesn't put up the numbers to be an all-star. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying that Trae Young doesn't even have all-star impact. I am, however, saying that with all of this like all-star type shit, he's definitely one of those all-stars that's never gonna make an all-NBA team out of nothing, bro. I'm sorry, bro. First of all, his team is just not good enough. So you're always gonna have that one question of, could Trae Young really do something in a situation where if he had the pieces, could he really he's always going to be in those Allen Iverson type discussions where it's like, yeah, Allen Iverson made it to the finals or the conference finals, whatever the fuck you want to say, with that team, but he never did anything else after that. And Allen Iverson has a fucking MVP. Trae Young is never going to win a fucking MVP. That shit is dead. That ain't happening. This team is generationally mid, and I mean said so. They were so mid. And I'm not joking to you that one time they posted a statistic about how they had won exactly 50% of their games. Exactly 50% of their games, and this was the result. By the way, shout out Matthew Stafford for being above 500 for the first time. I mean, first time in his career. Not his teams or whatever, like him himself being above 500. Shout out to him. Love that guy. But yeah, no. That MVP would do a lot for his legacy. That would be great for him. I'm gonna push him in conversations. He's frankly just not belonging after that MVP. If he gets an MVP this season, I'm gonna be putting him in some discussions. Yeah, Atlanta. They've also had some games with Jalen Johnson, and they played solid. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is a solid team, but I think everyone went to the year and was like, yeah, Atlanta's gonna be pretty solid. Now a lot of people were overrating them and telling me some bullshit like they're gonna be like the 4th best team in the conference, or the 5th best team in the conference, or the 3rd best team in the conference, or they might even finish 1 in the standings. And I just looked over at them like, did the Cavaliers and the Pistons and the Magic and all these other teams that were ahead of them just fucking evaporate? Like, yeah, the Celtics and Pacers are not going to be ahead of them, and the Sixers aren't going to be ahead of them, but like, that's 3 teams. Where's the rest? I'm not gonna lie, this has been a much more fun. Oh, dude, let me talk about the Grizzlies really quickly. Ja Morant calling Klay Thompson a bum. Now, I've been shitting on Klay this entire video. I've been shitting on Klay this entire video, man. I've been hating on Klay since he got with Meg Thee Stallion. Shout out with that brother Klay. Shout out that brother Klay. Shout out. I don't even want to shout out Meg because she could probably do better than Klay Thompson. But like, you know, if they're lovey dovey and they like it and it's cool and it's not just gonna be a fling. I mean, you like it, I love it. You like it, I love it. But brother, and Klay Thompson has been some ass this season. But Ja Morant is the last motherfucker that should be calling anyone ass. When brother, you were supposed to be the guy on your franchise, and we're still having fucking Jaren Jackson Jr. talks. We're still having those talks with you, brother. Shut the fuck up. You've never been to a conference finals. Shut the fuck up, nigga. Shut the fuck up. It was excusable when your second best player sometimes was Dylan Brooks. He was fucking it up for you guys, rage baiting LeBron and making it even harder for you niggas to win. Yeah, I get it. Bro, it's been years since then. You as a person have not developed. Not just your fucking tendencies as a basketball player. You as a person have not grown up since 2021. Do you remember where you were in 2021? I know where I was. I was sitting at that desk, which you can't see, over there doing fucking schoolwork for high school. Brother, it has been years since then. This nigga has not developed his game since then. He is still the same injury-prone type of player, and the reason he's injury-prone is for the exact same reasons that we thought he would be injury-prone. Look at his play style. Now, he has not taken any strides as a shooter. That brother is shooting 16% from the three-point line. 16% from the three-point line. Brother, I was 17 when you was in 2021. I am, 22 now? Brother, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? I know you idiots are probably saying to you, so you were 17, but it was 5 years ago. I hadn't had my birthday yet. It's in August. Thanks for asking. Since you can't do math. Should have been able to do that. Obvious, bro. It's like October. That shit would have been early 2021. What are we talking? Stupid. Yeah, no, the Timberwolves and the Pelicans, I said the Timberwolves. I'm sorry, Timberwolves. Y'all aren't that bad. The Utah Jazz, the Pelicans, the Clippers, and somehow the Suns are in this conversation, but god damn it, the Grizzlies are here. And the Mavs. All of you niggas congratulations, you're the new bottom 5 of the West. And you were going to receive belt for generations now. Because not only did your owners bet on the wrong players, Y'all are in a situation where it's not looking good. Y'all don't have your picks. And by the way, the Suns are gonna find themselves down there by the end of the season. Don't lie, bro. Don't lie. Because even if they make the play in, who cares, bro? You and the Kings and all that shit, y'all are fucked. Y'all are fucked. And I mean it. Y'all are screwed. If this video, this video never gonna make money anyway, but like, yeah, demonetized to hell and back because of what I just said. It's cool being a small creator though at this point though. Y'all are screwed. I'm so serious when I say this. If any teams in the league are screwed, it's you guys. I feel like I talked about every single team as much as I can. I'm not talking about Brooklyn because what else there to talk about Brooklyn? Milwaukee remains the same team that they've always been. Very mid team that really doesn't do shit. Giannis is still out. I'd be surprised if they can win even 4 or 5 games while he's gone. Prayers up for Giannis because if Giannis is injured, bro, the league is the worst place. Obviously, I shouldn't have to say that, but like, please get him out of Milwaukee, bro. Please, bro. It's one team, and I know we said this before, but it's one team that could pick up Giannis, that has the capital and the stuff to make it where the Bucks can make some moves in the future. They have some shit. It's one team, bro. They're the Spurs. I haven't really talked about the Spurs. The Spurs have cooled down ever since coming out nuclear hot. Now, cool down for them does not look fucking awful, but yeah, the Spurs are not nearly the second best team in the fucking Western Conference, or the third best team in the Western Conference, or the fourth best team in the Western Conference. They have cooled down. I think they're like 5th. Shout out to LA, by the way. I already said it in the last video. I drastically underestimated LA. LA's been great. And for the people saying that LeBron is too ball dominant, please watch the games. Please watch the games with him and Luka. I think you'd be very surprised to see the version of LeBron that you're seeing right now. But all that being said, like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. I have no idea when this video will go up. It'll probably be up today, but maybe not. I recorded this on a Monday, by the way, so yeah. Love dating the videos.